New Year's resolutions suck.
The worst.
They don't work.
Nope. Everyone was like, 2020 is my year. And then that was like really fizzled out on people making resolutions. Good for you, but also how dare you?
Welcome to Under the Sun podcast. I'm Ilea.
And I'm Irene. Grab a cup of coffee and your comfiest sweats and join us every Monday as two best friends discuss everything from raising free-range gremlins to business and really everything under the sun.
Let's get started and thanks for being here.
I better not look like the dehydrated.
Just drink more water instead of coffee, Irene.
My third coffee of the day. I was tricked into getting this one.
That's not how it works.
I have no ability to say no.
You do too.
This is why I don't drink alcohol.
Okay.
Because I know my lack of ability to say no to just one more.
How obnoxious is this thing?
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it? Okay.
Do you mind my communist coffee in it? Because it's going to be there till I drink it.
I mean, I'll just blur it because I don't want to support them. I'm just kidding. But I don't. How are you?
Good.
You look cute. For some reason, like, we both wore makeup today.
I know.
And, like,
I put it on 10 minutes ago upstairs, but no, I've been wearing it all day.
yeah. I wish I was that person. But I've posted a couple times. I mean, every Monday I definitely post about, like, hey, our new episode's live. And most of the time, it's like Leo's screaming in the background and I look like trash. And there's been a couple comments of, like, you guys are just chill. Like, I'm like, yeah, like it or not, this is just what it is.
The world is changing a lot, and people are less likely to, like, people don't want to watch that perfect person anymore.
No.
I feel like before, maybe early on, I don't know, we're so old that we existed before Instagram did, but like the beginning of Instagram, it was like, oh, hide your dirty house. And now I appreciate following people who were like, well, that's dinner from 6 nights ago that is still sitting on the counter. And I'm like, yes, okay. We're all normal.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I tried really hard to fight that, like, oh, I can't Instagram story today and, like, talk about this thing that I'm, you know, I can't riff on this thing because my house is messy and I don't want it to be seen in the background. I, like, just don't even think about that anymore. Or that, like, my mascara. Sometimes if I'm like, oh, the mascara from 2 days ago is actually, you know, pretty bad, I'll then throw a little filter over it. But, like, not in a sense of I want to hide the well, I do want to hide the mascara, just like, but I will admit that, like, hey, I have this filter because I'm gross.
Yes. I often don't do it. I swear, your phone is a year older than mine, and my front-facing camera is so bad.
Really?
That every time I go to gym, like, I literally can't post that. I look like the kids smudged chip grease on my phone, which I've wiped off the chip grease. It's not the chip grease, but I don't know.
No,
I think it's Apple just breaking.
Yeah, they ruin
everything.
phones for sure. They do.
Someone said, by someone I mean Jacob, who saw it on YouTube, if you replace the battery, your phone goes back to brand new condition because they
want to resell it.
They put something in the battery that, like, the phone needs X amount of wattage. Electricity. But as the battery degrades, the phone's like, oh, there's not enough power. We'll just shut this off, this off, this off, and this off. So if you get a new battery, supposedly.
That's the phone.
Where's my button?
Where's our allegedly button?
Those hoes. Where's all the buttons?
Oh, there's the red button right there. Is the other one up behind it?
How controversial are we going to get today?
You know, the night is young. The night is young. But before we get into today's topic, do you want to talk about today? What today was?
What?
What was today, Irene?
Tuesday?
No, today was your last day of running
that
payroll.
That is true. It was my last payroll I ever ran in my brain forever. And Jake's, we'll have employees in like
that was very
2 more years. And I'm like, why? I can't talk. We'll talk about it when I'm not a tomato
when you reset
anymore. Potato. I'm not a tomato.
See, I thought you were going to say tornado.
That too. All of the things. When I have
let's
enough brain cells to have a
your
conversation.
Nervous system is what we like. Yes. What needs to happen? Your nervous system needs to be reset. You need a parasite update where it should come in the mail soon.
Yay!
So she's going to start it, Dave's going to start it, and Jake's going to start it, and we're going to document it along the way on how it goes.
I'm not allowed to post pictures.
I'll post Dave's pictures. I just told him he can't flush without them seeing.
Jake would literally never. We don't have a lot of boundaries in our marriage at this point in life, but like we still have pretty decent bathroom boundaries.
We don't pee. Well, Dave pees in front of me, but like I don't pee in front of him.
I'm pretty sure, has Dave peed with the door open when I was there before? I'm pretty sure. I have a fuzzy memory of something that I tried to block out.
accidentally reminded. So Shannon will know. She listens to this podcast, our doula. I sent her a reel of like, it was like, that girl that screams, she's like, like she's quiet screaming. You've never seen that girl?
No.
It's like, and people like do that green screen. They say, me when people, jab their kids or whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
So there's the girl that she's silent screaming, but like the text above it said, when you're with your client who's about to give birth and the dad strips down completely naked and gets in the tub with her.
Completely naked?
Yeah. And so I sent it to Shannon and I was like, this is ridiculous. She was like, or strips in the shower in front of everybody. And I was like, oh my gosh. True. I'm so embarrassed. Why would he take a shower in front of everybody? He didn't, guys. There was like that like textured glass, and he took off his swim trunks that he was wearing. Yes, swim trunks in the shower. But like you could still see like a silhouette, I'm sure. I'm so embarrassed by that. Like I'm like, what were you thinking? He's just so like he's pretty. He hasn't read like the germ theory book, and like he's still very like, oh, look, every time I touch a thing, I have to wash my hands.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could understand being in someone else's. Never mind. I would have gotten in your tub and not showered. I disregard everything I just almost said.
It's just weird. I don't know. Anyways, wow, that is off topic. 1000%.
Welcome to the podcast.
I'm gonna. No, it's still in the wide frame.
Yes. So I'm not allowed to post pictures of my poop because what if one day Jacob runs for office and pictures of his wife's poop?
You know what? If he runs for office, they're going to be like, man, his wife is honest.
A psycho, but it's fine.
You know what? Whatever.
But I can talk about things. I just made a promise and a handshake that I would not talk too deeply about our sex life on the podcast. Not talk about it at all, I think. But I think some things may have. I don't know. I try to keep it boundary.
Yeah, I want it. I want boundaries, please. That was the handshake deal we made.
Right? And no poop pictures on Instagram. I was like, okay, fine.
Y'all want to see my parasite pictures?
I do.
Send me a DM.
You've already sent me a bunch, but
send me a DM. I'll send them to you. I don't care. Tell me parasites aren't real. Okay. Yep. So your business is you can finally reset your nervous system.
Yes.
You can finally prioritize your family for a little while instead of all the things. So really excited for you.
We've been together for 14, married for 9. And of all of those years, we've never not been married and not had employees. And we've never not paid other people before we paid our own bills.
Which is how it is as a business. Like, that's how it works.
I'm starting to realize maybe not really, because I follow Kevin O'Leary on Instagram, and he's one of the Shark Tank guys.
Okay.
And he's very quick to say, if the company's not making you money, then like chop it off. Yeah. So I think we care too much about people, which is a beautiful thing, but it's a downfall thing. Because even in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he said, always pay yourself first. And we never paid ourselves first. So it was just, I think we did it backwards. So I think that's like not a cop out, but how do I say it? I would say like, if I did a video later on things I learned in business, maybe we could do it. It's like paying others first is necessary the first few years. I think for the longevity of your company, it's not necessary, but I'm still working out.
But like, how do you justify then details. Like you have an employee who has done the job?
I think it's more don't grow until you're more than capable.
Yeah.
Because all of our companies, we just dove in head first thinking like, if we build it, they will come. And they did, but at the expense of our family struggling versus building up. Like we got a 4,100 square foot salon and it was me and one esthetician. Most people get
and then a pandemic.
And then a pandemic. But most people get like 1,000 square foot. Yep.
There we go.
Most people get like 1,000 square foot and they have 4 chairs. And then after a few years, they like bump it up and they add more chairs. We just totally.
Yeah.
I mean, we grew the whole time, which is good. But
we'll have a whole podcast then about that. Maybe in like when you're not in a
3
fight,
things
flight,
I learned
freeze.
about business. Yeah.
Yeah. But today we're talking about how much
I almost forgot because I was burping. Go ahead.
Gross. How New Year's resolutions suck.
The worst.
They don't work.
Nope.
Don't do it. there's a better way.
Yes.
Do you want to read the statistics or do you want me to?
Ooh, we can tag team.
Okay, I'll do the first one. Overall success and failure rates. According to a 2016 study of the 41% of Americans who make New Year's resolutions, by the end of the year, only 9% feel they are successful in keeping them, which I feel like is really high.
Well, we talked about that earlier. I'm surprised only 41% of Americans make them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This other one says 37% of survey participants planned on making New Year's resolutions for 2023. Mm-hmm. So even less than the 41% of 2016.
Yep.
I think 2020, everyone was like, 2020 is my year. And then that was like really fizzled out on people making resolutions.
Yeah. So then, I don't know if the rest of this really matters, but it's 87% were confident that they would stick to their resolution. So does that mean out of the 37%, 87% of those 37?
Yes.
Okay. Were confident that they would stick to their resolutions, but by February, only 22% had stuck to them entirely. 54% had mostly stuck to them. So don't make New Year's resolutions. Make a commitment to yourself instead. Like, it doesn't have to be the new year to improve yourself. I think so many people are like, come the new year after the holidays, that's when I'm going to start a diet. That's when I'm going to be. And
and if you need a new year.
It doesn't work.
If you need a new year to get yourself, like kickstart it, then like there's always going to be something that can derail it. If it's like an arbitrary date that's like, oh, this date I'll do this. Then on a random Tuesday, like, why stick to that? It's not like a lifelong, I need to stick with this for XYZ.
Small changes of discipline.
Yes.
So we have lots of notes on this. So if I look at my phone a lot, it's because I want to be intentional, not forget. Because sometimes I get into like the ramrod conversation, and we have very limited storage on my hard drive over there. So 57 minutes.
I need my glasses. Oh, we've been recording for 11. I was like, I thought we only have 11 minutes left.
No. How do you want to do this? Do you want to like go back and forth? Or?
Yeah, let's go over our personal visions.
Yeah. So that's kind of like you have to like rewire your brain to be like, I'm not going to just starting, January 1st, fill in the blank year. I'm going to start being basically a different person. Like, you know how like when you go on vacation and you take a bunch of clothes, you're like, I'm going to finally wear this on vacation. It's like, you were the same person on vacation. Like, you're not going to wear that outfit. Just bring your sweatpants. We know you janky. Like, come on.
Yep.
You are still the same person. So just like small things, like how we break, well, I don't know how you guys do it, but how we break it down. And we've kind of done this for like a year and a half, maybe 2. Mm-hmm. And we have personal vision, family vision, and then our business vision. Mm-hmm. And mind you, life happens and sometimes all of it gets scattered, and most of the time does. But like, if you have a family mission involved,
it's like a common goal.
Yeah, common goal, then like you're going to win, even if you don't meet the mark. Like, you'll see how far you've come. One
of you is tired, the other one has the goal in mind and can keep going until you get the energy, and then you can flip flop as one gets tired.
Yep. It's just like with parenting. So what are your personal visions for 2024?
Personal visions. On number 1, I said, don't be dead, which
don't be dead.
Don't be not like, okay, that was very dramatic. I don't mean physically, literally dead. I mean like emotionally, my battery's been empty for a long time. And we don't have payroll. We don't have employees. Like, that, it's great. And I'm trying to even have like some of Jacob's excitement. I have the excitement, but I'm like so
But you're so in fight or flight still.
It's going to take a minute for me to even get to like a normal. Yeah. So I'd say this year, just get to like a normal level of not panic, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, yes.
Reset your nervous system. Yeah. I have a couple things. Like, this isn't, I wouldn't say like, I'm not going to share all of my, it's just kind of like 3 that I thought would be fun to share. Because I have more goals than just 3, or like a vision for what I want 2024 to hold, which is not a bad thing to like have expectations for your year. Like, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have like expectations of like, oh yeah, like I want to grow. Yeah. So I want to be unoffendable. I don't think it's a word.
Are you offended? You're not.
I am internally easily offended. And I run things over in my mind a lot of like, what did this person mean? Like, I think I am like very sensitive to like microaggressions.
Okay.
Just because I've been around like passive aggressive people for a lot of my life. Yeah. And I'm like, like, I find myself being sensitive, even though like I won't show it externally. like I internalize it. So I want to be, and it's gone really well. I've already implemented this of like, the kind of like the thing Dean Hefta says, if you haven't listened to that podcast, I want to have him back on again.
Yeah, we should.
Like, you can't make anybody happy and you can't make anybody sad, and nobody can make you happy and nobody can make you sad. And so like, I'm just unoffendable. Like if you use like whatever someone says, like that's their business, not mine, you know? So that's my
that's a good one.
goal is to.
Another one, which kind of pairs with the first one, is find a version of me again that is kind of like the girl that moved here.
Yeah.
A better version, because I was 19, 20, very immature, have learned have had a lot and lived a lot of life since then.
Sure.
But that me was always ready for the adventure. And if Jacob was like, let's go to Mexico tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah. And now if he's like, let's go to Mexico, and we can't. We have this with this and this and this and this. And I'm like, at what point? I don't even think, I think it was prior to motherhood too. A little bit of me was like, well, we can't. We have this and this and this and this. So finding that like adventurousness. Yeah. Also, I think I blame the salon realm, but my entire closet is black. And for ease of like thought process, I wear all of the same things as my husband, just the small size.
Yeah.
Including shopping in the men's section. I don't know why I did that. Just like somehow morphed into that. And like the me that moved here was in hot pink all the time. Yeah. I would have sworn I was going to end up like more like Moira and just not care what I wear. And here I am, sequins and all on a random Thursday.
I have a theory on that. Because I really like neutral colors. And I do. But I think the reason I clung to neutral colors for a while is because I think my nervous system was like overwhelmed with all the things. And that was something that like I could just... Like I could control. So like the reason you had all black, okay, that's one less thing I have to think about if it's just all black. Yeah. It's like, that's what I was like with neutral of like, okay, if everything just matches all of the time, I can just grab and go. Yeah. And so like now like that I feel like I kind of got more of a handle on motherhood and business and all the things that I feel like I can, I don't know if that's the same. Yeah. Do you feel like that?
I don't know. I think it just came from not wanting to be a burden financially. So it's easier to buy this $5 black t-shirt and wear it and say it's the uniform than poor Jacob, he's like, go spend $50 a week. If you get one shirt for $50 or 10 shirts for $50, just go spend $50. Like have a budget. It's fine. Yeah. I can't let myself buy things for myself. But if I went today to Walmart and spent $50 on Nova, wouldn't think twice about it. So it's something... Or if like Jacob needed shirts, I'd go buy him whatever he wanted. But to go spend money on myself when I could just buy this $5 t-shirt.
Knock it off. Like, you deserve things.
Pink. I love red. Even Nova's like, well, you want to wear that? I'm like, well, I don't want to wear that. It's your favorite color. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. That is my favorite color. So
that's sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm excited
just get
for that.
back to like that bubbly, hot pink. Not really, but like a better version. A better pink.
You can do.
Not
you
like
can find a middle
pink.
A middle ground.
But a colorful palette. Colorful, bubbly me.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. I have a read more and learn more.
That's a good one.
I don't enjoy reading very much, but I want to. Yeah. Like I have all these books that I start and I get like 10 chapters in and then I never finish them. Because like I have the toxic trait of like I read it and I'm like, I know where the rest of this is going. Yeah. But not sponsored, but I've been testing out I tested out once, but like it's called Blinkist, where they just like summarize the book. But like I want the exercise of reading a book. Yeah. Like slowing down, not having my phone. Huh?
Is it like a to-do list thing for you? Like, do you not enjoy sitting and reading, or does it feel?
No,
more
I just
like
feel like there's other things I have to do that are more important. Like I have to edit, reels or podcasts or, like I want to make sure Leo sees like the whites of my eyeballs, like, and not me looking at my phone all the time or in a book, which I would rather her see my nose in a book than my phone. Yeah. Cause, but that's just something I want to like I'm learning how to make candles. I'm learning I'm rendering my own beef tallow this week. I'm very excited about it. Just like, I want to just keep learning. Cause like I love learning. I'm such a, like, I'm a nerd like that. Like when I find a thing that I like, I want to learn.
Yeah. So I love reading.
I want that. I want to be like, I want that. Yeah. I sit down and literally I fall asleep. Like I just, and then I have to start over because I don't remember anything I read.
I have the problem of like, I want to read, I want to sit and read the whole book in one sitting, which is not feasible at this stage of life. But I feel like, well, if I'm going to spend time reading this book, I want to really absorb it. And that gets harder when you're breaking it up between like wiping butts in the bathroom or getting snacks, or I need to train my brain or somehow tell my brain like, it's okay if you only read for 5 minutes, but I get that like, I want to know the whole thing. I want to know it now. So if I have to take a break at all, then I won't, or I'll start reading it when the kids go to bed and then I'll be up till like 4 just to finish the book. So
dedication. Wow.
So I want to work on enjoying life in smaller chunks versus like all or nothing.
Yeah. That's something that's on my like master list of like just things I want to improve it overall in life, is that like you don't have to be excellent at everything all of the time. Like even just reading one chapter at a time. Like I've been reading Luke through. Like,
did you see that post too?
You sent it to me.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've been reading Luke like leading up to Christmas, which there's like one chapter that's like, it's all of the geography, like you know, someone so begot so and so, and I'm like,
I had to memorize Luke 2 for school one year.
Oh geez, that's the one it was.
Whole chapter start to finish.
The worst.
I'm sorry. I could probably, if I started it, maybe recall it.
Oh my gosh,
it was nuts.
Well, like it has value, it does, but like it's a little like
really like 17 syllable names.
Yeah, and I get that like genealogy matters and like where people descended. I get it.
Yeah,
but like, oh boy, but I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, like
chapter a day,
just like one chapter a day versus like I need to know the whole Bible, and then I'm like, that's gonna take forever, and then I don't read the Bible.
I get that way too, though. Like I could just read a proverb a day, but I'm like, oh, if I can't
seriously
read
like
more, then why read today?
What is that?
I don't know.
That's toxic.
I don't know why we think this way.
I think it's because like, I don't know. We probably need to go to therapy.
We're very ambitious women.
Yes.
Which is not
and we want to be the best at everything.
A bad thing. Yeah. But we're in the season of interruptions, and we somehow need to work on being okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I would read 2-3 books a day prior to kids, but I'm not in that season, and I will be one day. So we just have to learn how to find the new normal in this season.
Your turn.
The other day, my daughter pulled a banana out of the garbage and took a bite before I could stop her. And the only thing I could think of is there are worms on that. It's been in the garbage. Who knows what other rotten, raw meat goop is in the garbage.
Gross.
So, yeah. How do you deworm yourself?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you weren't doing the ad. I thought you were just telling me a story. I was like, that's so gross.
Yes.
On that same note, Leo today, she started licking the bottom of her shoes.
Ew.
And I just happened to throw on her chicken boots.
Yeah.
And she licked the bottom of her shoes, and there has been
chicken boots.
So like literally, my brain was like, I have to like go back on the deworming you thing, because like you just like definitely ate worms.
Yeah.
So that means you should go to rogershood.com and buy the Parify kit to detox yourself and your kids from all the worms, because you can pass them between each other through touch and kisses and all those things. Use our code
UTSP10. You'll get 10% off your order.
I'm a little queasy from this ad.
Yeah, I know. Our kids are gross.
Get rid of them worms. Kids are the grossest. They lick stuff they shouldn't.
They really do.
So
it's awful.
Deworm them.
Yes.
And plus they won't have as many emotional outbursts and
tantrums.
All the things. Yes. So deworm your kids. UTSP 10.
Yes. I only did 2 of each.
Oh, okay. I did 3. I have just, which is
I'm
kind of
climbing out of my nervous system. So I'm on two things for.
These are just general life goals. I've actually had these already for 2023. They just like, they take time.
Yeah.
I have less phone, more nature, or just more like, have you seen that reel? Hold on. Have you seen that reel of the mom not interacting with her baby, like playing with it and then not playing with it for like 3 minutes, and the kid like freaks out because like he's not getting the like co-regulation from the mom. And I just like, I don't want Leo to remember, even though if I'm working, like I want to have like set boundary times of like I edit. Like I want to have more discipline when it comes to like I edit like in the morning before she wakes up, or like the first 2 hours, like, you know, she eats and then plays and then, you know, watches Little Bear for a little bit while I edit the thing, do it, and then shut it off. I have a hard time shutting it off and not being like, I need to make all these reels so that, you know, so I want like less phone, more nature, and like, just like living slower.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know, my nervous system isn't in that place right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to just like not try to be everything all of the time. And just like be okay with like, okay, I'm a mom, I'm a podcaster, and I'm a wife right now, and I don't have to be everything else anymore.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of coming to terms with that. So anyways, anyhow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Did you do family vision and personal or business or?
Yes. I do have I have 3 in the family category.
Let's ramrod through because we're going to run out of time.
Oh,
so
shoot. Okay.
You go.
So family, we do the same every year. We set family goals, and then we used to, prior to kids, check in every quarter. Now it's like the end of the year. Like, did we do this or did we not do this? So we're working on. We at least set one for the year, which kind of helps. Yeah. But we're gonna travel a lot more this year now that we have the flexibility and freedom to kind of go. I also have make baby number 3 in there.
Yeah, I had that on my master list of baby number 2. Probably in the fall of 24.
I want to get pregnant by like. Man, not June, because every time I get pregnant in June, I'm like I don't want 3 birthdays in a month span because their birthdays are only 2-ish weeks apart.
Wait till like August, September. Wait,
maybe.
What would that be?
Maybe. I just cannot I don't want a Christmas baby, so like March through early May-ish is kind of out of the bag. But anyways, baby number 3. And
but like I don't
finish the RV, which has been on our family list since 2017.
That's
but
a large project.
It's a large project, but we either have other people we have to pay before we can buy the things we need, or I keep getting pregnant. So the RV needs to come before the baby, because when I told Jake we need a baby, he's like, you have to help me finish the RV. So
yeah. And you have friends. Call upon your friends.
Tell your brother that.
I mean, but he knows how I paint.
Well,
and I'm not. He's a perfectionist, and I'm like, let's just get it done. like if you look at our editing,
we have sanded as much as we sanded had you and I not just ran in there with our early 2000s punk music.
And that was fun.
Gotten it done.
Yeah, we got it done.
But yeah, I break things all the time. And he's like, well, I don't have to teach everyone how to do it. And I'm like, the amount of times you have to go back behind me, we might as well like ramrod it and then
have a friends day where we drop all the kids with one of the parents and then just get her done. Okay, that's awesome. What else you got?
That's it for the family stuff. Also, my mom's coming Christmas Day, so maybe the 4 weeks she's here in January.
Dave has Christmas to New Year off. Tell us, we can come spend.
You might just have to show up. I'll just text you when we're there.
Okay, all right. Family vision, I have grow more of our own food, improve homestead because we bought a fixer-upper, and spend less and build more. Like I have found myself turning into like, because when we were working both full-time, I didn't have the time to be like, oh, like I'm just going to go thrift this thing, take the, couple weeks it takes to maybe find it. I can just order it on Amazon because we didn't have the time. Like we didn't have the time, but we had the money.
Yeah.
Now I'm not working full-time, so we don't have,
yes.
Like I don't want to spend the extra money. We'd rather save it because, everything is so damn expensive right now. Like it's just ridiculous. So
I want those circle skirts that I sent you, where you go thrift like a bed sheet.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to sew,
like a
so that's going to be
Yeah. So I'm trying to like just use things that are out of the normal of like, okay, like this thing isn't actually meant for this, but like let's just I don't know, just in true homestead fashion. I just don't want to spend a whole bunch of money.
You got an entire swing set for the kids to play with for free.
Yep.
But you just had to dismantle it and rebuild it, and that's awesome.
With Jake's help, thank you. But yeah, we do revisit every quarter. We have it on the calendar, even if it's just us sitting on the couch and it's 5 minutes, and it's saying like, no, like we're in distress. Let's eat some let's eat some heavenly hunks on the couch.
Right? Yeah.
We check in even if it's not.
Yeah. We have been
a good check-in.
Terrible about eating ice cream. Like root beer floats specifically. I don't know what happened.
Is it? We went through that. What was that?
Every time we eat one, I'll think about you and your face where you just went through it, and then I'm like, what is happening to us? Why do you keep eating root beer floats?
I don't know.
But I will only buy Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I'm very snobby about that because it's milk, egg yolks, cream, and sugar. That is it. And anytime I flip over ice cream and it's like 75 ingredients, I'm like, if I'm gonna waste like sugar, toxin loads, I want it to at least have minimal ingredients.
Yeah.
Now I think all ice cream is gross except for that.
Well, it's when we were moving from our house into our medium-term rental. It's like we were every night having root beer floats. And he just because what would happen is we'd buy a tub of ice cream and root beer. And then one of them would run out first. And then Dave would be like, oh no, we only have root beer. We need ice cream. And then like ice cream would appear. And then we'd have too much ice cream. So we need root beer.
Yep.
And it just kept going. But like, again, I know like people get super like, ooh, it has to be non-toxic like this. But like if you are probably like, detoxing regularly, making sure your body, like your body should be able to handle those things.
Yeah.
Mine didn't, so I stopped. But like,
yeah.
But like, just have some freaking joy. Like we were having a great time watching Homestead Rescue, eating apples. What? Eating
root beer floats.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow. So
no, ours is we had pizza night with your parents the other day. Every Thursday they've been coming over and watching Frasier, and your mom was like, "Do you guys need anything?" I was like, "Well, if you have any extra root beer at the house." So your dad went to Menards and bought a case of root beer and a case of root beer and cream soda and left it at our house, which has been so amazing because we have had 4,000 root beers.
Root beer is my weak. Like I can say no, but like if I get started, it's hard to stop.
It's not really my weakness unless there's ice cream. Like I've tried to just go drink one out of the fridge and I end up handing it to Jake. But if there's ice cream involved, plus the root beer he keeps bringing doesn't have corn syrup, so I have like, like it's easier for me to say no to like A&W with its corn syrup. But when it's just sugar, it's so good.
When it's just sugar, just sugar. Yeah, which I find side tangent surprise. So we've been doing sourdough again. Okay, been feeling fine, feeling great. When Thanksgiving came and we ate sugar, like now my bones hurt.
Interesting.
Like because we really don't eat that much sugar on a day-to-day basis, but because we had like cheesecake left over, pie, and then I made another apple pie.
Because you have the ingredients.
I had the ingredients, and it's freaking good, guys. If you need a gluten-free not pizza crust, what am I looking for? Pie crust? Hit me up. I found it. It's good. Nice. But like, I think it's the sugar that hurts my joints and my brain fog and my guts way more than sourdough ever has. I haven't tested I'm not going to test like real bread.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do the sourdough. But
also side tangent, I have been binge watching Kids Baking Championship. I know why, because if an adult can out bake me and out cook me, like whatever, I'm lucky if I can feed my children fried eggs every morning. But when this little 6-year-old is like, I'm making coq au vin, I'm like, what are you saying? And it's like, oh no, I'm burning the scallions. I'm like, what are you saying? And they can just like whip up this. It's like I don't know. It popped up on Discovery Plus. It's like a new. And then when I clicked it, I'm on season 1 of like 10 seasons. So now I'm on season 7. And they're shorter seasons because they're kids and you can't keep them that long. But
child labor laws.
Some of the things that these kids make. And he's like, yeah, you can't bake this with this. That's ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah, that's so ridiculous. I don't know what half those words are. So, but it's been making all of us want cake 24/7. The good thing is we don't just have the ingredients at home because I don't bake or cook. So I can't just whip it up. But if I had all the ingredients in the kitchen after watching that for multiple days in a row, I would probably be eating
made
a
a
lot
homemade
more
cake. I might try
it. Because also watch Kids Baking Championship. It's really funny.
I really want to get back to Homestead Rescue and not. We don't like watch that much TV. We just like turn on for like 10 minutes before we fall, like 20 minutes before we fall asleep. But, like, I know that's bad for our circadian rhythm. I know, but like
you have to have joy with your husband.
Yeah, that's when we like sit and laugh at people. It's great. Anyways.
But also, I want the kids. My kids are not going to learn how to cook from me. Not that they're going to learn from TV, but my son's at the age where like, oh, it's another kid. What are they doing? So I'm letting that run in the background of the house too. That way he can say like, oh, kids can bake, kids can cook. So it's like, okay, you're not going to necessarily learn how to make. You can make great tacos. Like I can teach you how to make some good Mexican food, but I want him to learn like, oh, baking can be fun. Mom's not teaching me.
Okay.
So it's been really funny to watch these kids.
That's great. I love that. Okay. Back to New Year's resolutions suck. I just have a couple notes. Do you have any?
Did you want to go over your business ones? Knock those out really quick or no?
Oh, yeah. Did you make business ones?
I did. I stole your number one.
How dare you?
So we both have build personal YouTubes, which we're both monetized. We're both going. I just haven't posted.
It's just it hasn't been consistent.
And then my other business one is start and launch my hair course. Which I now have the bandwidth to do. So that's exciting. Yeah.
Funny story, really quick. Another side tangent. The other day, we were in here in the podcast room. And we were, I think, packing up or something, and I was like, we were talking about something, like we need it done for the podcast, and I was like, Irene, I'll do it since you don't have the bandwidth. And Jacob kind of like looked at me funny, and he was like, she has the bandwidth, and I was like, okay, but she's told me she doesn't, so like. Whatever, if you want to do it, that's fine.
And then did not have the bandwidth.
But then like 5 minutes later, he's like, oh, bandwidth. I thought you were calling her dumb. And I was like, no, I wasn't calling her dumb. He's like, I thought you were meaning like she doesn't have like the bandwidth. She doesn't like have it going.
And my brain was like, I thought he was calling me a weakling. He's like, she can just do it. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm so tired.
But now we have the joke of like, oh, you don't have the bandwidth. Like,
it's great.
I love it. Mine is, build personal YouTube, keep building podcast community. Hey guys.
Woohoo.
Dang it, stop making adjustments. It's making me my note flip. Stop doing it. Work smarter, not harder. Like just certain things. Like I tend to like think things through before I actually like, do. I want to just get it done.
Yeah.
And not like, again, we always say progress over perfection, but like there's just a lot of areas in my life that doesn't happen. So I'm just going to try to do that. So,
I would say as far as like tips on how to get started, no, don't wait for a date. There's never going to be a start date. But
Life
if there is
perfect.
stuff that you can trim off,
Yep.
in my case, it was a whole business.
Yeah.
But trim it off.
Yeah.
If it's really depleting you that much and you're not getting the benefit, you can only hold on to that exhaustion level for so long before you crash. So just cut it off and give yourself the space to do the creative things that you want versus I'll get to that one day when I'm not so dead. Like, just figure out what's making you dead and chop it off.
The holiday season is here and we're all eating too much sugar and too many pies. And
no regrets.
Some regrets because we all feel like trash.
Yes.
We're all inflamed. We all have that runny nose or that indigestion or that the stanky farts. We all have these issues right now when you eat too much sugar. So maybe that means your body needs some extra support.
Yes.
Maybe you need some liver lover.
Yeah. If you go to bioray.com, you can use code UTSP10 to get 10% off your order. They have a little quiz you can fill out where you can say like, oh, I'm bloated or I'm tired or I'm constipated. And I don't know. Those are not the questions. They're better laid out questions, but answer the questions. They have someone on call that can answer your questions if you have specific ones. They'll help you figure out what supplements you need, what will help you feel like your best self.
Yep. So use our code UTSB10 and thank us later. You said this on the podcast that you hate the saying, that doesn't serve me. And I agree. I think there are some scenarios where it actually works. Like, so what you just said.
When it's done by someone, how do I say this kindly?
Who's only thinks about themselves all of the time.
Yes.
Yes.
Is not in a relationship, does not have children, everything's always going wrong in their life. Like at a certain point, then you need to figure out why your life is the way that it is.
Yeah.
If you are the common denominator
that's the
in every problem you have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the victimhood mindset. Get at, like, I hate that.
Yeah.
And I was guilty for a long time. I was like, oh, woe is me. But like, then I realized, like, oh, like, because when you're thinking about yourself all of the time, that's where depression, I think, comes from. It's like when you're constantly obsessed with self. Okay, go volunteer somewhere. Like go to a church, volunteer to scrub the toilets. Like go do something. Yeah. About, anyways, we can talk about something like that later. But but I had that too, like trim out activities that don't serve the overall mission. Meaning like, hey, this is our family vision for the year, and it's okay if people in your community, your friends, family don't understand that your family is dedicated to this vision. Yeah. And if you're having to trim off, like, hey, like it's not social hour every single night. Like we can't go out every single night. We can't, do extra activities. Like for us, like we've just had to trim off the fat. Yeah. Of like, we're going to focus on podcasts, family, homestead, and then the close friends that like have been there for us.
Yeah. Because at the end of life, you're going to be judged the most for how your house was ran. Yeah. And yes, you need to be friendly, and a man that hath friends must show himself friendly. But if you're so friendly at the expense of your kids or your marriage, then that's not really the ultimate life purpose.
Yeah, I agree.
I also have in here, you know yourself, don't trick yourself, which also goes to the arbitrary start date. But I am that person that has a problem with planners who has 75,000 notebooks that are like 3 months in and then nothing. Yeah. And as soon as the employees were gone, I was like, I should get a new notebook. And I'm like, I don't need it. I have so many notebooks. And I've even gone out of my way to buy planners that don't have dates. So if I like I had a contingency plan for my failure for planning. It doesn't have dates on it. So you can just start wherever and then like add the date and keep going. I still have plenty of those, but I know myself and I'm still probably going to buy one. But like, if you know yourself, then you're not just going to magically
Just
change
put it in your phone.
Yeah. Something happens when I put it a to-do list on my phone. My brain thinks it's done. I don't know what or why, but I don't know if it's like digital. It's like, oh, it's out there and it doesn't exist anymore. If I write it down, then it's like what they say, you remember more when you write it or read it on a
What about
paper.
like a big calendar or something? Like a big paper one that you like rip it off and throw away. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we'll
figure
do whatever
it out,
works for you, but like I get what you're saying.
Don't spend $70 on another planner because it's custom with your name on it.
Yeah. I have if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Which I don't know how grammatically correct that whole saying is, but it's like that for me is like something as simple as like, why are our dishes always like overrunning? It's like, oh, that's because I have bad habits of like, we don't rinse our plates off when we're done. We don't, dishes sit, like in the fridge with food getting gross for a long time. And then we're like, ew, this is old. And they're like, we don't want to deal with this right now. So then it sits on the counter for a couple of days. Listen, we nasty. I don't know what to tell you. But like, for me, that's been really like pivotal for me to be like, okay, why are these things in our life? Okay, it's because of something I'm doing. So I need to change myself so that the result is different. Yeah. And like, that's what really sucks. It's wonderful. But when you have to like look in the mirror and be like, oh, it's me. Hi. I'm the problem. Not that I like Taylor Swift and that I quote, but like,
that song,
but I am the problem.
Part of that song.
Yeah, that part of the song. So,
I have in here natural labor. I feel like it really did gear me towards literally anything in life. If like my knees hurt because I worked all day, it's like whatever, I can last another hour. Or like, ugh, I don't want to do that. It's like I can do anything for 5 minutes. I'll just get up for 5 minutes. Like that mindset of like I am gonna live through the next 60 seconds no matter what. It just like it did something to my long term. It like rewrote my entire brain, which labor always does. But
you're a different person after
like
labor.
You can do anything for 60 seconds. It's like, well, I can get up and wash 2 dishes for 60 seconds. It like really, I don't know. Yeah. It really did change my everything.
I like that.
It's crazy.
Cause like that's similar to when I set like 5-minute timers or something and I do this daily. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this thing. And then I'm like, then I like, no, I say that like, I can't remember what episode it was, but it was like, I count backwards, like a launch, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I go set a timer and then I do the thing for 5 minutes. And then usually I end up finishing that task if I can. But yeah, that's, that and the saying like, you can do hard things. Like if I say it to my kid and like your kids are a mirror back of you of like, oh crap. Like I want to make sure she sees and develops good habits, not the habits of like that I don't like about myself.
Did I tell you that my kids flipped that on me the other day?
What?
Riker wanted to be carried upstairs or something. I was like, Riker, I'm like really tired. I've got to carry like this and your blankets and all your toys. I was like, you can just walk. He's like, can you please come down and get me? I was like, buddy, I just can't. Like, I'm really tired. He goes, Mom, you can do hard things. I'm like, you can do hard things. Walk up the stairs.
Did you make him walk?
No, I still got him because
Irene.
Well, in that case, I was like, he's right. I can do hard things just because I didn't want to carry him. So in that
but that's
point,
because he didn't want to
he did not want to walk. But that part, I was like,
boy.
I don't want him to always think that he's always in the wrong. I want him to feel confident enough as a person to even call out mom and dad, like, hey, mom and dad, whatever. And if he's right, then I can do hard things. He's not wrong. So So while that was one of the battles I chose my battles, but I was like, you know what? You're right. I want him to just be assertive.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
But he flipped it on me. Mom, you can do hard things. I'm like, how dare you?
I just have like bonus because I get passionate about this stuff is that no one is going to do it for you. And no one is coming to force you to stop. I'm going to read this part because I feel like it's important. But no one is going to do it for you. No one is going to come. No one is coming to force you to stop doom scrolling. No one is going to stop you from eating that candy. No one is going to make your vision happen. Like once I realized that nobody was coming to like call me out, I was like, oh, then I have to be accountable for me. And like, so now I have like boundaries on like how long I'll scroll and I delete Instagram frequently. Yeah. And because that's a thing for me. Like I just, I have like a problem with like shorts and like I like, but in my brain, I frame it as like, oh, I'm doing like market research. Yeah. Which is not wrong, but at some point, watching funny memes is not going to do it. But I love this so much because it has helped me a lot. Again, like this is all just toxic traits. If you're like us, that my brain was just not in a good place of like, you're never going to feel like it. Like you cannot wait to learn to make sourdough. You cannot wait to, you know, like start a business or edit the podcast, whatever it is. You're never going to feel like it. But like, if you make a commitment to yourself of like, oh, like, no, we've committed to every Monday we post an episode. And like, even if you don't feel like posting it or you don't feel like it's the best episode ever, and then turns out to be everybody's favorite episode, like you have to learn to trust you. Like that, my thing is like, I will trust everybody else. Like, oh, like, yeah, like Irene like keeps her word, but like I never kept my word to myself. Like I've started so many things and not finished them. So just like rewire your brain to like trust yourself and what you say and do it. I was very passionate as I was nursing my baby to sleep today.
I got in the car after we left your house. I was like, okay, she's very productive.
I just said, I challenge everyone who hears this to stop letting the way you feel derail your potential. Because like, honestly, in February, we had 96 followers on our Instagram.
Crazy.
No, 63.
Yeah.
We had 63 followers in February. It is now December and we have 32,000 or 33,000. Mind you, like we're still building the listenership of that. But like, if I would have let the way I feel, we would not be here right now. Like, we would, because like
you don't always feel like editing.
I don't always feel like editing, and like nobody ever feels like doing anything. Like
that's true.
Is there anything that we ever always want to do?
No,
besides watch TV and eat ice cream and root beer. Not, and then my last thing is that like not all feelings are true. And if you wait until you feel like it, you'll never do it. Yeah. So like that for me of like, oh, like just because my brain says like, oh, like nobody cares about what you say on your podcast. I'm like, no, like that, just because I think it doesn't mean it's true. Yeah. And just because I feel insecure right now doesn't mean that it's actually true. Yeah. So freaking do it. All right.
Yeah. I have 2 tag-ons to the end for, I don't know if you have any to add to this list.
This is it.
Books that I recommend you read.
Oh, yes.
Between like now, if you want to still stick with like, not a resolution, but like, let's make this year better.
Just make you better. Don't make the year better.
That's true. Make you better, and then your year will be better. Yeah. But books that are highly recommended by me, I've talked about this on like multiple podcasts, but that You Happier by Doc
I want to read it. Can I borrow it?
Yeah, it's amazing. He also has, I forgot to look on like Cyber Monday, but he has a little program on like being happier, and he has a lot of good stuff in the book that's like every day, write this out and write this out. And I had so many notes that I kind of lost my place. So I thought about doing his program. So then I get the daily email because I'm going to check my email anyways. And it's like, hey, do these things. I'm like, okay, that would be nice. I could set up things on my phone, but I do tend to ignore my phone. Like I have no problems putting my phone away and ignoring it for 6 days to almost the detriment of me and my businesses. Yeah. But all that to say, he has a program. Last I checked, it was $50. But it's how to just rewire your brain to get the negative out. Or like, and I probably have talked about it before, but he calls them the ants, like automatic negative thoughts. Just so many good tips on rewiring those. Yeah. So that's an amazing book. And then Atomic Habits, a lot of the stuff that we've kind of talked about in this came from that book. It's Atomic Habits by James Clear. Is it Clear?
I don't remember.
But he talks about if you try to do a complete 180, like I am starting tomorrow, never, ever, ever eating sugar ever again for the rest of my life. Like you're setting yourself up for failure. Yeah.
Manage your expectations.
But if you're eating a root beer float every day, maybe just start saying, okay, I will have root beer float on Saturday as a treat night with my family. Yeah. And you're just making small little incremental steps to get better. And he calls it 1% better every day. And the trajectory of 1% is that by the end of your life, everything is 180, but if you try to jump, you're going to yo-yo and you're going to flip, and it's just not going to go great. But those are both way better explained by the authors that actually wrote the books. So those are my top 2 books. If I had to recommend anyone read a book, do you have any?
Jim Quick, Limitless is a very good book.
I have not read that. I've listened to a lot of his podcasts.
You want to switch it? We can switch. I have it. I can let you borrow it. Okay. I like Jim Quick a lot. And I don't know. I really like the Allie Beth Stuckey, You're Not Enough and That's Okay. And it's like the tagline is like escaping the toxic self-love culture. Because like that's when I actually like did the 180 of like, oh, I'm thinking about myself too much. Like that's why I'm so anxious and depressed is because I'm upset. Like I'm worshiping the God of self, not God. Yeah. So Those are probably my two. But yeah, we appreciate you guys for being here. We hope you have like an excellent new year.
Yes.
And not just like January, not just New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But we hope you have a year, like the best year.
Yeah.
Like one that you're like, wow, that's the year my life took a turn and like I made new habits.
Yes.
So any parting thoughts?
I don't think so. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. We're really excited for 2024 and what we're going to do this year. So send us a message on guests you want us to have and conversations you want us to have, and we'll do our best to
also
do it.
Share us with your friends, because all of a sudden the fellas have 10,000 followers on Instagram.
We got to squish them down.
So
it's like a weird thing
I
of
want
like
you to be built up. Good for you, but also how dare you?
Yeah, like because we have a competition, but like I think then like if you're going to have your 10 year this year in September, like why don't we like why don't we say in September if like whoever can get whatever the was it 50,000?
Yeah.
Like, let's actually do it. Let's go to the Bahamas for your I'm inviting all our anniversary trip.
That works.
Let's ditch the kids.
Unless we're both pregnant, and then we'll see.
Lord. I just don't want to
I'm ready.
do it again.
Man, I tell you what, I have been talking about this baby forever, but like as soon as I locked the doors on the last day, I'm like, let's get this show on the road. I've got no one else but my kids to take care of. Except I need to deworm myself. I'll deworm myself first.
Deworm yourself and get yourself your digestion in order.
I think if I deworm myself, that should theoretically fix everything.
Not everything,
but also
it'll fix a lot. But
all of the pressure, I'm like,
maybe another cellular heavy metal detox.
Maybe.
We'll talk about this.
I'll settle for worms and a baby.
Oh my gosh, that's a shirt. I'll settle for worms and a baby.
Yes.
All right. We really are thankful for you guys. Bye.
Thanks for being with us today. Follow us on Instagram at @underthethe_podcast. We'd love to meet you.
Please help us out by subscribing on YouTube and leaving a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time. Please remember this information is made available to you for informational and educational purposes only. It is in no way a substitute for medical advice.